Alright lads, well I've had a bunch of you people ask me about my iRacing graphics settings, so I just thought I would run you through them quickly, what I use for driving and what I use when I'm taking pictures or something, and what I usually change in between, because I have a very good life hack with the software that I would very much recommend you to use, because it's very good. Anyways, let me just show you my settings now. I'm just gonna pull them straight up. So these are my driving graphics settings. So remember that I am very much orientated, or like I'm very highly prioritizing frames. So I could very likely, or I could run better graphics settings than this if I wanted to. However, I am very like putting a lot of weight on having the maximum amount of frames as possible. That's because when you get to a certain level, you really notice when the frames fall off, just a little bit of extra delayed reaction time that you sort of have if you have a little frame drop, or if the game starts lagging a little bit or something like it. You can really feel that if you're going into a corner on the way to an apex, and when you get to a certain level in terms of the driving, that's not something you want. So that's why I run incredibly low driving graphic settings. Now the one thing that you'll notice is that I have the SSR on high, actually on rain only. That is and the shader detail as well. These two are quite important, as well as this one. It's mainly for the rain. It's so that you can get the reflection of the puddles in the rain, so you know where they are, so you don't have to guess your way forward. So because if you turn your graphics way too down low, you actually won't be able to see the reflection of the puddles, and it'll be sort of hard to spot, which you don't really want. Anyways, these are my driving settings. So jumping into my replay settings, these are a bit higher. You know, it's not as important to have the frames when you aren't driving, when you're just sitting and watching. Now these are my triple screen settings, so they aren't that high. You know, I'm still wanting to get the 60 FPS, but normally when I actually spectate a session, or I'm streaming like a 6 hour, like an endurance race, like we had the Indy 6 hour when I was spectating, I actually relaunched my game in single monitor mode, where I could run a lot higher graphics. So I will show you my single monitor graphics, and then after that I'll show you the secret tip that I have to changing between them with just one click. Alright, so now I've jumped over to single screen. You can't actually see it, but before I was of course on triple screen. Now I've narrowed it down to just being my single monitor, so the game has to process two less screens, right? So basically I'm able to run a lot higher settings. There are my graphic settings, which are here, but they really aren't that necessary because I'm mainly using this for replay, right? I'm never really using this for driving. So my replay settings are like this. Now these are, I take pictures with these settings, but they are mainly for watching, like replays or something. The only difference I do when I actually want to take pictures is the dynamic cube maps and the fixed cube maps. This is basically reflections on the car, right? So this takes a lot of rendering performance for if you're watching replays or streaming or something like it. But for taking pictures, putting up the cube maps is something that I would recommend, because it gives you just that little bit of extra reflection and detail. So these are my single monitor settings. Now let me show you the ultra great life hack to changing between these things with just one single click. And here it is. This is probably one of my favorite iRacing programs. It has been such a help and such a time saver for me ever since I got it. It's called Sidekick Profiles. You have to join the Discord server, and I think if you want access to all the functions, it's a one-time payment of, I think it's $10 or $15. So it really isn't that much for the amount of function that you actually get, right? So basically you can see right now it's in single monitor mode. So it's on the settings that I have for my single monitor. You can see everything's on high detail. These are my high detail, you know, the picture graphics, which are really good, right? If I switch back to monitor, I just, because I did this iRacing backup thing up here. If I switch back with that one click, when I now launch iRacing again, it will be in triple screen, and it'll be with my driving graphics that I showed you, where everything is running with good frames, right? So it literally means that with that one click, go over here and then press this, and then I press this button up here, apply to iRacing. With that one click, I can go from having my iRacing on triple screen or on single screen back to the opposite thing, right? So back to triple screen right here, I just press that, back it up, and then it's applied to iRacing, and then I'm back to driving. It's literally the most time-saving thing I've really encountered in iRacing, because otherwise you have to go into the renderer files and change your resolution like you've always done. If you have triple screen, you know what I'm talking about. You've gone to render files and you've changed the resolution of your game or something, and you've messed around with it. Whereas this program, honestly, it is such a lifesaver and is highly recommended. I'll leave a link to their Discord server down below. It is not sponsored or anything. It is just because people have been asking me what I do, so I thought I'd be a bit helpful. But I am leaving a link down in the description to the Discord server if you want to get your hands on the software. Anyways, I hope that you found this video useful. It was it was very easy and a very short video, but I hope that you found it useful anyways, Upper Marcus, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!